From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision Bill Fisher. There's soon to be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. Our Captain Marvel, head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuck. And our Batman, master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical. Our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission? To fight injustice. Share what is right and wrong. To get you out of your house and come out racing with them. And serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm going to be your host for this episode, and my name is Bill. Who do we have?
I'm Vicki.
I'm Jennifer.
I guess I'm Alan. Yeah, I'll be Alan this time.
You're going to be Alan this time? All right. Excellent. Now, we've got one more request from a listener.
We do?
We do.
They called in?
Well, no, it was an email, actually, or a direct message. So, guess what we get to go through?
What's that?
What's that?
They like our Fast and Furious section.
Ooh. Okay.
But we've never done it.
Oh, okay. I like it.
So, Jen and Vicki, I know what your first car was, since it's the same.
Oh, are we?
Yes, we are. Fast and Furious. Jen, Vicki, first car.
Pinto.
72 Pinto, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worst car you ever had was?
Pinto.
And family car that sticks out.
The Pinto.
Pinto? All right. Alan, first car.
Wait. Yeah, so my first car would be a Volkswagen Scirocco.
Scirocco. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's the
Worst
first
car.
one like that I bought. Worst car probably would be, I think it was that 83 Civic, CVCC or whatever the heck that thing was.
Oh, Chris is not going to be happy with you, Mr.
Well,
Howard.
it was that or a Peugeot 604, so it's one of the other,
It's close.
50-50. Yeah, they both had some really serious issues.
Okay. The family car that sticks out when you were growing up.
Family car that sticks out. It was the 78 Ford LTD wagon that was red with the woody sides.
Why does it stick out?
That thing was a dream. Well, apparently, my mom had just made the wedding cake for her sister's wedding, and we had just dropped it off in Boston, and we got rear-ended in it. And it was, and it literally put a lump in the cargo area of the wagon. And if you could imagine that size vehicle getting hit that hard, that it bent the back of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was exciting. I was in the back seat, totally not buckled in, of course, because no one did then.
No.
I just bounced off the front seat and then got up and, hey, this is fun. Whatever.
Well, was the cake okay?
That's what happened.
The cake was already dropped off, thankfully, so we're clear on that. So
okay, very well.
Yeah, we dodged the bullet there.
All right. My first car. Well, it's hard for me to say. So my first car was probably my 1984 Firebird. But
Nice.
The first car I ever drove was borrowed from my parents. That would be a 1979 Oldsmobile Cutlass with a 3-speed on the floor manual transmission pile of junk. Yes.
Solid.
Worst car I've ever had. I think that would have to be a 1975 Ford Granada.
Ooh.
The only redeeming quality was it had a V8 in it. And I tried to make that sucker blow up every time I could. And the car from the family that sticks out in your mind, there's two cars that stick out in my mind. My mother had a 1975 light blue Camaro that she changed the oil for the first time at 73,000 miles.
Yeah.
Hey, Sheila.
Yeah. So
Tequila Sheila.
So we had to scrape the oil out with a stick and put in more oil, run it for a little bit, and then drain that oil too. I think it was 500 weight oil by the time we got done with that. And the other one was a Catalina that she had. I think it was a late 60s, early 70s. It was red, and she went out to go get a lunchbox for me for school. I think it was in first grade or kindergarten or something. And she ended up getting rear-ended by a guy, and that car got wrapped around a pole and just demolished, and it was the first time I'd ever seen really a car accident. And so those stick out. Okay. Question number 2. Alan, what is one thing that no one knows about you that would surprise them?
One thing that no one knows. Oh man, these are tough questions. We ask these people these things.
We do.
Oh man, that's terrible. That's just one more terrible thing we do. Let's see. I'm really not good at adding or subtracting numbers that well.
Yes.
As much as I might like to think that I'm good at math and things, but yeah, I do all my plus and minusing right where on the calculator.
Yes, calculator man.
That's what
All
I
right,
do.
Miss Vicki. One thing that no one knows.
Ask Jennifer first.
I race cars.
That's true. Let's pretend the people who listen know that about you.
Jennifer creates beautiful cakes.
That's right.
I do bake cakes. Yeah.
Okay, so since Vicki answered for Jennifer, why don't you answer for Vicki?
Let's see. Vicki is a fashionista.
Really?
She is. Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I guess I should take her out more often if everything was
You
open.
should. But no, you keep her in T-shirts down at the garage changing oil.
Listen, the T-shirts are optional. She chooses to wear those. So, okay, automatic or stick, Jennifer?
Now stick.
Okay, lovely, love that.
Yes.
Vicki?
I would say stick, but for long distances, automatic.
Okay, Mr. Danvers.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go stick. And automatics have their place. It's not that they don't. It's just not. Not most
I
of the
am
places.
100% stick until my knees give out, which might not be that long. But anyway. I guess I'm supposed to do the one thing.
Yes.
I don't know. You got anything, Vic?
Bill is an excellent poker player.
Really?
Yes.
So much for making money at the races. Anyway, okay. All right. See, I was thinking I have 8,000 pounds of comic books, but then at the end it says that
there is. Bill
would
also has
surprise them.
8,000 pounds of.
Yeah.
Bill literally has a ton of comic books.
4 tons, if you do the math. Okay. I don't think I'm going to get an answer from this one, so we'll start with you. Vicki, favorite race driver? You don't have one.
I don't have one.
I know. Jennifer, anybody?
Vicki.
All right. Very nice. Alan.
Mine would be Chris Abbott.
Who?
Chris Abbott.
Chris Abbott.
Chris Abbott.
Nice.
Oh, look at that. Suck it up to your teacher.
Nice.
I see what's
I
going
am.
on
I'm
here.
gonna suck up to the teacher.
Nice. Chris
She
Abbott
brings
gets his
snacks too,
first
doesn't
vote.
she? Yeah. There you go.
Amanda's really good too.
I think I'm a Schumi fan.
Schumacher. Okay.
Yeah. It is what it is.
So, favorite race driver for Bill. Well, when I was a kid, my mother used to work for Topper Toys, which used to make Johnny Lightning race cars. They're just like Hot Wheels and Matchbox. They were like the third one, I think, and they're long gone. So they had this Johnny Lightning set, and I had this set of cars, and it had this like Indianapolis-looking open wheel car holder, and it looked just like Al Unser's car at the Indianapolis 500. I'm going somewhere. Don't give me the face. So I would probably say that Al Unser would be at the time.
Nice.
Anyway, so Jennifer, what's one car that got away? What is the one car that got away? Do you have one? Is it the Pinto?
No, it's not the Pinto. I really don't have a car that got away.
We'll have to work on that.
You know why? Because I never really became emotionally attached to cars. Like there was never this one. It was always something to get you from point A to point B. So I never. Yeah.
Have we changed that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. At least we got something done on this team. Alan, what's one car that got away?
The one that got away, it'd probably be the '67 Buick Wildcat.
Ooh.
Oh,
Two-door.
do tell.
Yeah, it was just it was my great grandfather's car, and it was one of those like, okay, he shouldn't be driving this thing anymore. So then, and I think my mom drove it and was like, yeah, it's a little too much power for my teenage boys. We're gonna sell this one.
Oh,
So there you go.
That's a bummer.
Mm-hmm. Had the
Okay.
mirrors across the top, like the segmented one, where it was like 5 pieces.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, you know.
Once I would think with a car like that, once it's behind you, you don't have to worry about it. Miss Vicki, do you have a car that got away?
I do.
Was it the Pinto?
No, it
Can
was
I
my
guess?
Jeep.
Oh, really?
It was my Jeep. I loved my Jeep a lot.
I hate your Jeep.
I loved my Jeep.
I hate your Jeep
Why?
because you're deaf.
Well, yeah, I abused it. Well, you know what? I would do things differently now. You know,
Okay.
if I know now what I know then.
See, I would have said for you, I would have said your GTI, but I would have been wrong.
You know what? I've had a couple really good cars. The
Like what?
GTI was one,
Mhm.
and my Jeep. I really loved my Jeep a lot, but it just at that point the Jeeps just really weren't made well, I think, and it just started having problems with the catalytic converter, and it really did have to go for a more mature car when I end up becoming pregnant with Liam. So it just became costly.
The Jeep was gone long before that.
Yeah, but not too much because we ended up getting the car when it was when I had. Yeah, I did. That's true.
No worries. Don't blame
love
Liam for your Jeep.
No, I loved it.
We can blame Liam for other things, not your Jeep. though.
Yeah, I loved it.
All right, car that got away from me. I've had 3 cars that left me due to not my choice. So let's see. It would be a 91 MR2 or the 84 Firebird, or I know Vicki used to like, she used to get confused with the highway number not being the speed limit for the
Mustang.
96 Cobra Mustang. Yeah. So it's when we were driving down 95 and she was in 3rd gear, I had to explain to her that A, there's more gears, and B, that's the road number and not the speed limit. But that's fine.
Oh.
Okay. Front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. Does it matter? Alan.
I think for total overall driving dynamics, for racetrack type stuff, the rear wheel drive is really the only way to go. For all out going a little nuts on the snow, we definitely want all-wheel drive. But we'll go with rear wheel drive. It's just a better dynamic.
All right, very nice. Miss Vicki, I know it's not front wheel drive for you.
Well, no, it's not front wheel. It's rear wheel and 4-wheel because
Really?
I did a lot of 4-wheeling.
Okay. Miss Vicki, can I ask you a question?
What's that?
Your GTI, did you like driving that?
I did, but I never raced it.
Okay. I'm just saying it's a front wheel drive car.
I know, but
Okay.
I never had to race it though.
Miss Jennifer.
I object badgering the witness. Badgering the witness. Hold on.
Oh, sorry,
Rear.
badgering.
Okay.
Rear.
Yeah.
Jen says rear. All right. Bill says, I like rear. Sorry. Front wheel drive fun though. Rear and 4-wheel drive is actually kind of cool sometimes. So curious on what the answers are going to be here. What is the fastest that you have ever driven a car? What was the car? And if it was a track, where? And if it wasn't on a track, I don't want to know. Alan.
Fastest I've driven a car, I guess.
Well, it's like the question you get when you say, "Oh, I race cars." Well, how fast do you go?
I'm not exactly 100% sure. I'd say we probably get to 100, maybe 120 in the BMW, but I know we've got just over 100 in the truck.
Yep.
I certainly might have once gone 100 in a car on the road once, maybe. But
Like
yeah.
today?
Not today. No, I wasn't out today. Yep. Nope. Wasn't
Okay.
driving. I mean, I was, but it wasn't my car. So I didn't,
All right.
I go that fast. Yeah.
Miss Jen.
On the racetrack, probably at Watkins Glen in the Miata.
Did you hit triple digits?
I was close. think I was
Okay.
close.
Well, this year you'll be there, no doubt. No doubt. Miss Vicki, curious about this answer. And we're not talking about when you back up. We're talking about going forward.
I know. I think it was in the truck, and I think I was just under 100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fastest I've ever been in a car, but I wasn't driving, was a little over 180. But the fastest I've ever been driving was not at a racetrack. We'll leave it at that. And 145.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Where was it?
It was not at a racetrack. We'll just go with that. So, if you're on a desert island and you had 5 cars that you want, and the island has a track, what would they be? I'm going to let Vicki go last because I'm not sure she knows the names of 5 cars yet, but we'll work on that. So, Alan, you're the best prepared for this.
Let's see, some 5 cars. I don't know. I'd have to say we would have to have an air-cooled 911 just for some fun. We'll have to have some sort of oil drive ruckus maker. I probably maybe one of those. Was it like the old GMC Cyclone, the old school, getting giving a little nod to El Jefe there.
Is that the truck?
That's the truck, yeah. The blown,
the Cyclone and the Typhoon. Right.
Cyclone, Typhoon, yes, something like that. Let's see, what else do we have? We probably should have. Oh, geez, I don't even know. We have an air-cooled 911. We should have some sort of all-wheel drive something else, right?
It's your island, baby.
Yeah, I hear you. Gosh, I don't even know. I'd have to say some sort of like monster truck or something just to drive around in the sand and have some fun. I'm not even that specific with a lot of it, like I'm pretty flexible with whichever, I can always find something I like with it, whatever. We'd have to get something else. What the Ferrari 308.
Alan, are you far away from your computer?
Oh yeah, hold on a second.
We just have a picture of grass right now. There's no Alan, so.
Well, it's better that way. You don't want to.
Okay.
No one wants to look at me.
You have to pretend that you stay within 50 feet of
50 feet, something like that. Okay,
yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. So the old Magnum PI, was that the Ferrari 308?
308. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always good. Just to go back to the 80s, you might as well have a Lamborghini Countach just to say we did it.
Very nice.
Did we get 4 or 5?
I don't know. Are you happy with your cars?
I'm happy. I'm good. Yeah.
All right. Very well.
You don't need too many.
And an interesting series of questions will be answered by these two. I can't wait. Miss Vicki, do you want to give Jen more time or?
No.
Okay. What do you got?
I would like to have a 1968 Boss Mustang 302.
Okay.
I have always loved those cars.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Probably I wouldn't mind taking out a 66 Nova SS. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay.
I would not mind trying an Aston Martin just to give it a good run.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yes. I wouldn't mind trying a Lamborghini personally, just to probably scare the bejeebus out of me. Mm-hmm. And just for giggles, I think I would probably like to try a Spider.
What kind of spider?
Is that
Tarantula?
A Mustang Spider? It's like a Mustang Spider.
I don't know. You mean a Cobra?
I don't know.
What
was a car that was driven over at the racetrack?
Gingerman?
Yeah.
That was a Cobra.
Okay, then it was the Cobra.
There's your
that
5.
Looked very sweet. Yep.
Okay. Miss Jen.
What's the question again?
your desert island, 5 cars.
I know. We got to come up with 5.
I want a Ford
or 3.
Flex.
3's fine. We're fine.
3's fine.
And
3's fine.
Whatever you want, Jen.
The 240i.
Okay. She likes the BMW. Okay.
Yeah. 69 Mustang.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. And
Well, I think we have wild cards, so you can just take 3 of Bill's cars, whichever. You know what I'm saying? We have those. It's fine.
all right, and I'll take the Mini Cooper.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
Mini Coopers are fun.
Mini Coopers
Mini
are,
you
Coopers are
go.
fun.
they are fun.
Oh.
Is that your list?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
And 2 to be named at a later date. At the
Two
At a later date.
Yes.
two I will execute upon later. Okay, so I'm on a desert island. I don't know what's the matter with you people. You got to have a dune buggy. I need a dune buggy. Dune buggy. Ferrari GTO from the 1980s. My favorite car. If I'm going to have a super car, the one that I think I want, I haven't driven it yet, the McLaren 720 or a Ferrari 458 Italia, the top of the line one. Those would be, is that 3? I think that's 3. Let's see, what else do I want? I would want a 1977 black with gold Screaming Chicken Trans Am, but it has to be redone with modern running equipment and engine. So like a pro stock kind of work there. So Alan, get on that for me.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got the list started. Yep.
All right, very good. And then I think I want like a little race car, and the one that I really, really want is I want a spec E46. So that would be it.
Very nice. Very nice.
That would be my list. All right, so dream car for a race car build. What would you want to start with? I'm going to start with Jen because I don't think it's going to matter how long.
No idea. Honestly, I really
Jen,
don't know.
M240i.
Yeah, you start with that. Yeah.
Start with that.
240i.
There you go. Nice pick,
Oh, what
Jen.
a great idea! Oh man,
That's awesome. Miss Vicki, do you have a wish list that I can go by this week? I mean, you know, for a friend.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Because right now I'm so overwhelmed with cars. I can't even think about another car.
Okay. Alan, I'm interested.
I'm
What do you
going.
got?
I got to go old school, like 60s, 70s air cooled bug. You know, just
Air cooled bug.
do something totally wrong with that. You know, just
That's
yeah.
terribly wrong.
You said dune buggy, so I'm like, hey, that seems like something we could do. And
That seems like
after seeing that that V6 with the blower bug go by us more than once on the track, it seems like not a bad idea. I mean,
Many more times than once.
bad ideas goes.
All right, very well. Well, since I said a spec E46 above, I guess a spec E46 would be the winner. I don't really have an appetite to go much faster than that. I kind of like the little momentum guys. Maybe I'll change, but that's where I'm at right now. All right. Do you guys have a favorite or most remembered car sound that started you towards your path of cars? Maybe
yes,
something.
Vicki saying, "This is so much fun."
that's not exactly a car sound, but it did come out of a car. So, okay.
She
All right.
was sitting in the car when she said it.
I know, she was.
There's a car. It made a sound. It counts.
That's right. All right. That's the one. All right. Works for me. Miss Vicki, do you have one?
I do not.
Okay. Very nice.
Just I love the throatiness of the cars.
Okay. Danvers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna have to go with the smell and sound. It's the, anytime I get that gear oil smell from the pits or anything like that, just kind of brings me back to my days, growing up at Lime Rock and stuff like that, and
Wow.
just hearing the cars come down the straight to the Big Bend and it's that wide open throttle, the popping as they lift and that kind of good stuff.
So when I was growing up, we had a family down the street that used to race down at Englishtown Raceway in New Jersey, and they used to do the bracket races where you had to hit a time. And then next door there was 3 daughters, and one of their boyfriends had like a CUDA, and those 2 cars, they had that big lopey, and that kind of got me there. I don't know how to describe that. Anyway, All right. If you can only daily drive, and race cars from one decade, what decade would you choose? Well,
60s.
from the 5 cars you picked, Vicki, I'm guessing it's 60s.
60s. I like 60s.
Okay. That's why you like me. Anyway, Jennifer?
I would have a hard time choosing between. I like the 60s
Mm-hmm.
and 70s, but I really like all of the features of the new cars.
This is true.
So
This is
I would
true.
have a hard time. I really don't know.
And they do run now, so that's always a benefit. Danvers, any preference?
I'd probably say 80s.
80s.
There's something like that. That's
They're so boxy in the 80s, weren't they? Boxy.
Yeah, some of them,
Yeah.
depending on whatever
Everything got very angled in the 80s.
You don't have to go very fast if you're in the 80s.
That's right.
All right. This one's hard for me. I kind of like all the years for all different reasons. So if I had to choose only one, I don't know. Can I go from like 65 to 75? Is that 10 years? That sounds good. I like that.
Yeah.
That
You can do
makes
anything you want. It's your podcast, honey.
That's right. If I had a podcast, I could do that. All right. Very well. All right. Vicki's favorite question. Vicki, Jeremy, Hammond, May, Chris, Matt, other.
Jeremy.
Okay. Jen.
Well,
Who are they?
Okay. That's the perfect answer.
yeah, I'll go Jeremy.
Jeremy. I like Jeremy. I like the original 3. But I will say Matt was very good and Chris is good. So I really, they're all good to me. Okay, so first CD, 8-track, cassette, or album that you bought.
The first?
Oh,
The
boy.
very first. Good.
The very first
God.
that. Oh my God.
Okay, so the first album I bought when I was a kid was Ray Stevens, and I needed Guitar Zan and Freddie Feel Good and his funky little 5-piece band. But since we're not talking about kids albums, I will have to go to, I bought a CD, 2 at the first time. 1 was Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell, and 2 was the Bryan Adams album with Summer of '69 on it.
Hurts Like a Knife. No, is that same?
No, I think Cut Like a Knife was
That's
earlier.
later.
I would have
Okay.
to say, does anybody remember the CD clubs?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
I believe
12 for a
that-
penny.
Was it the
Right.
BMI? Was that what one of them was?
BMI was 1,
Or
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
one, right? Yeah.
Yep, and I think that's when I started buying CDs. This is when I actually had a little bit of money.
Yeah, the sheet you had to fill out to get
And
all
I
the different-
remember the
oh, man.
one that I remember the most was Radiohead. Creep.
Really? Creep.
Yeah, I'm a creep. Yeah.
Okay. They hate playing that
Nice.
song, by the way.
Awesome.
Alan?
I honestly, I just remember like a Joan Jett tape, cassette tape.
Nice. I Love Rock and Roll one? Or
Yeah. Oh yeah.
okay, very nice.
Absolutely.
Very nice. Miss Jen.
I don't remember. I remember having. I remember Bat Out of Hell. That was a really cool album.
Yeah. Hell
2
yeah.
out of 3
I
was
don't
good.
remember you
I
buying.
had a Bad Company. I remember listening to Bad Company a lot.
Hey Jim, what was your
Boston.
Jim, what was yours first? Oh, Boston. Nice one.
Yeah. And Pink Floyd. I had Pink Floyd too.
Okay. Very nice. Jim, you're the musical person. What was your first album?
These guys had headphones on. I'm sure, absolutely positively sure it was David Bowie.
Yeah, I'm sure too.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Your first album was. Remember your first album? You can't remember. He's got Alzheimer's.
It's hard to go back that far.
It's one of those round ones that the
Alzheimer's now that you're retired. You can't remember.
okay, no worries. David Bowie. We'll go with David Bowie.
David
Yep.
Bowie. I'm
Love it.
sure it was David Bowie. It wasn't David Bowie. It wasn't
Believe
David
that.
Bowie.
Ziggy Stardust. All right.
It was Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Very nice. That works. It's better than having to be
Christmas
like
album.
Better than being like shaving cream or something like that. Where was your racing aha moment?
I haven't found it yet.
You're still working. Okay.
I'm still working on AHA.
TBD. Okay. Vicki?
I would have to say probably Atlanta.
Where? Tell me more.
Um,
Driving in the rain and 30 degrees?
no, I would have to say probably at the very top of the hill around the apexes, going in late and then coming out and hitting the squiggle marks was I think it's like I understood. And the other thing is right before I went to the track, it's when I actually saw a track map that had the driving line on it in red.
Right.
And that was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. And it just blew my mind. And then when they just said, when you start going into talking about the rain line, I knew I didn't have to be on that line. So yeah, I would have to say that would be it.
So far.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've got more coming. How about you, Alan?
I would say Road Atlanta. We had some good seat time there and was able to just kind of dial in each turn. I'd get through a sequence and all right, let's try all this, try all that. Coming out of 6 and 7, and what can I do there? Which line do I want to take there? I think that was where, I just started to try to just work out the lap, each section at a time. All right, let me get this little piece through here. Right, let me try this little section. Trying to figure out what gear to be in different sections and stuff like that. So I'd probably say that was one, a good learning moment right there.
I think Atlanta just gave us, because it was only 3 of us, gave us a ton of driving opportunity.
Just
seat time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were really, really able to focus. So I would have to
Absolutely.
say, yeah.
2 that come to mind. One being my first HPDE at Pittsburgh with Chris and the NASA Great Lakes people. Specifically, turns 7, 8, 9, 10. He really helped me a lot there. The other one would be at Thompson last year in the BMW, because it was the first race where I felt like I was racing the windshield and the mirror as opposed to just the mirror, because it was in the E36 race car, and that was just so much fun. I had a blast at that race. Probably one of my best races, time-wise, enjoyment-wise. All right, ultimate road trip, to, from, and in what car? Jennifer?
Thinking.
You do a lot of these.
I do a lot of road trips, and my favorite one is
Gingerman with us. I know.
I know, it was so much fun. I like going out west. I love the desert.
Going to Portland.
Yeah, that was a great ride. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably there from east to west. And in what car? It would have to be something roomy and comfortable, because that's a long drive.
Yeah. Okay, roomy and comfortable.
Yeah, I don't have a specific car.
Okay. Miss Vicki, do you have a dream road trip?
I do. I would like to go across Canada in probably a BMW.
Okay.
Where I have an option to take the roof off. Either that or going through up through Scotland. I really have this craving of going north instead of going south.
Okay. Well, just turn the wheel to the right instead of the left.
That's right.
Okay. Danvers.
Yeah, so I think I always like the idea of just driving across country. But then hearing Vicki talk about driving across Europe, I think that'd be a fun trip too. Just to travel on. I've never been to Europe, so to see some of that stuff, I think would be awesome. But just as far as a road trip, I just love driving distance or cross country, whatever it is. And across Canada sounds like fun too.
It does. All right, so I've got 2. One, I don't know if it's possible, technically. I figure there may be a chance. So how about if we start in New Zealand and drive from one end to the other, and then when we get to the one end, then we take a boat, because I know there's no bridge, right over to Australia and go from the west coast to the east coast of Australia. I think that would be a blast. The other would be somewhere in Europe. I'd like to do, you know how we always talk about going around the U.S., like north and south and across the top and down the bottom? I'd like to do that in Europe. I'd like to do that across the bottom by the Mediterranean, come up somewhere, don't know how far east I would go, and then come up and go across the top, because I really want to see most of it, and that would be a blast. What car would it be? Well, if I can get my Ferrari GTO from 1985, that would be a fantastic place. I don't care about it. I'll have somebody else drive my luggage. That's where I'm going.
Like it.
Okay. What is your favorite car movie or car from a movie of all time? I'll start with Alan, since he probably sees the least amount of movies.
Yeah, my favorite car movie? Wow.
Or car from a movie.
Yeah, I would say Cars. I just love the the little stuff they put in for the adults and stuff like that.
The Hudson Hornet.
Hudson Hornet, more often than not, I'm saying not the face. You know what I'm saying? It works for me. And I think it was the first movie that my spawn had seen in a real theater. So I guess that counts for something.
Awesome. Jennifer, do you have one?
I don't know. I don't really have one.
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's the black Trans Am from Go Bandit, Go Bandit, Go Bandit.
Well, Knight Rider. I mean, that would definitely be.
Smokey and the Bandit. Probably Smokey and the Bandit was one of my earliest ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bandit.
I feel like
Bandit.
I need.
No,
Yeah, I feel like I need to amend one of my earlier
Smokey
answers
and
there.
the Bandit. I did like the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like Mr. Danvers has recalculated.
Yeah, so I have to amend some of my earlier statements there. I think on my desert island, I was missing that Trans Am.
Oh, okay.
Chicken.
Very nice. You need to scream a chicken.
Chicken.
Yes. So just to clarify Jennifer's statement, we went out and we did a Smokey and the Bandit marathon. We have 7. Yes, for those listening at home, there are 7 Smokey and the Bandit movies. And for those listening at home, please stop at 1, maybe 2. Do not continue. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. It's wow, they're bad. Okay, Miss Vicki, I don't think we asked you.
No. I really don't have one. I mean, I enjoy car movies. Usually my movies involve horses. They don't really involve cars.
Just say it. You know what it is.
Oh.
Herbie.
No, it wasn't Herbie. I did like the one with
All right, seriously. A-Team van.
I did used to like to watch the A-Team.
I know.
Oh, you know what?
Van, right?
I used to watch the A-Team, and I got to remember when I was a little kid, I was a Speed Racer fan. I was a huge Speed Racer fan when I was a little kid. That and the Monkeys.
So there I get my
And Knight Rider. Do you remember Knight Rider?
I do remember Knight Rider. It's horrible.
Well, if Speed Buggy's there, I got a chance of getting this dune buggy after all. Awesome. Works for me. Favorite car movie or car from a movie of all time? Well, I think I got to go. Give me that black Trans Am from Smokey and the Bandit. DeLorean's fun.
Bandit.
Yeah. DeLorean's fun from time Back to the Future, though. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
All right. This is the one that everybody's been waiting for. What car would you love to switch into that you're currently racing against or have raced against in the past? And at what racetrack?
None.
None?
I can't think of any.
I like our cars.
Okay. Very well. Danvers? Because I know
I'm gonna have to say that would be a Porsche 962 And I guess, I don't know. I'd probably like to try it down at Road Atlanta, but I would just say Lime Rock just because that's where I watched them race. So
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what do you got?
When did you race against the Porsche 962?
I didn't race against it. It's when I saw racing. So that's the one I want to race.
Well, that's not.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a perfectly.
One of the ones I actually raced against.
That's a great answer to a totally different question.
Oh. So one of the ones I was racing against, I'd like to swap into.
Yeah. There's this guy I know. He always says it's kind of like this hockey game where you can just switch the controllers right into the car you're racing against.
Just into somebody else, right? Just swap.
Whoop.
Oh yeah, I get that. No, I hear what you're saying.
Okay. You can have more than one since the girls backed off.
Yeah, no. I think I'd love to. I'd love to try some of the. Which one was it? Like the dead horse beaters, that Mustang, with the Honda motor in the back. Yeah. That's kind of funky. That'd be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I don't know, something with a bunch of horsepower. I'd like to try to get into one of the. Either try like Hams's car or try one of the. What was the other one I was looking at?
Tatas.
Yeah, the Tatas is always a good choice. They had that thing dialed in pretty well.
Yeah, I think they got that one down. All right, so Lucky Dog. I have two cars that I want. I want that Mustang that was at Laguna Seca, Vicki. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember. It made a whoa.
Yeah, it went pretty well. And then the Race Invaders, Eco Boost swapped Miata would be quite fun. From the Lemon side of the world, I definitely have not made my rounds in the three-pedal Mafia cars, and that includes the Hamsa car because it's kind of adopted into it. So there's 4 cars there. I had my 84 Firebird as my first car, so that the Sorry for Party car always has a soft spot in my heart. And I think the last one would be Tata's. I like that car. It's a beast. Okay. What car would you want to wipe away from history?
The Mustang.
All of them?
No, just a Spidey.
Please send all comments or suggestions to garagesharesandtraining@gmail.com.
Oh, Jen wants the Spider Stang to be wiped away from history. Okay, I understand. Jen had she was a ping pong ball in the middle of a game in the Mustang for those at New Hampshire.
Well, it didn't treat her very well. I mean, it just didn't.
All. Nope.
It was not. It just didn't have that satisfying experience at the end of the weekend that you really look for. So I can totally feel that.
What about you, Alan? What car would you want to wipe away from history?
What car would I want to wipe away from history? Oh wow. Geez, I don't know that I have any lined up.
That's an answer. You going with it?
Yeah. I'll go with that one. Yeah.
Miss Vicki?
What is it? The Aztec?
Oh, nice. Pontiac Aztec. Yeah.
Excellent
choice. You don't. I thought you liked camping though.
I do, but
was there a Montana version of that too, or no? Is that?
I don't know. That was a pretty nasty little car.
The Aztec, yeah, it's quality engineering there.
I like all cars. I'm keeping them all. Okay. Favorite track so far? Vicki. I think I know the answer for all of you.
No, hold on. You know what? I like Atlanta.
1 for 1 so far. Jennifer?
I liked Gingerman.
Really?
I did. I like that track a lot.
Really? I thought I had you picked for Watkins Glen. Okay, I'm 1 and 1.
I did like Watkins Glen, but I don't know. I really like Gingerman.
Got more track time at the Glen. I mean,
Gingerman.
Gingerman, yeah.
All right, Danvers. I think I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got me. Road Atlanta.
There it is. Yep. Anybody not know what mine is?
I think yours is probably with the corkscrew.
Nope.
New Jersey.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is really good too.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's awesome. All right. What is your favorite turn so far?
Oh, mine is the squiggle at Atlanta.
That 10A, 10B?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. It's in the beginning.
Oh, 3, 4,
You're
5.
going downhill with the squiggle and the swoop.
Oh, the S's? Okay. So that's 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
where's
4,
that turn again, Bill? Where's
4,
that?
5. Yeah,
Which
I know
one?
where 3 is now.
Is that?
I got 3.
Oh.
Three's under control now.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Jennifer, do you have a favorite turn yet?
I don't have a favorite turn.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Nothing feels good to you.
I'll let you know as soon as I have one, though.
All right.
Just all the ones she dominates in. That's all. I mean,
We will probably find you one in Pittsburgh coming up. I know it. I know which one it's not.
I do too.
The second turn at the go-kart place by your house, where you were sitting there backwards, waving at me like, "Please don't hit me."
Please
Oh,
don't
no.
kill me.
And then you hit her.
No.
Bam. Oh.
He did not hit me.
I did not.
We did. Oh.
I laughed at her as I drove by, but I did not hit her. Alan, do you have a favorite turn?
I think the 5-6 turn at Road Atlanta. I really like 5 because I could find some different lines to get in and out of there.
5 going
and
up the
carry
hill?
some speed.
Or
No, it was at 6-7. I'm thinking
6, 7.
6-7. Yeah, where it's like 180 basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So going through 6, I just could pick some higher lines and just carry a lot of speed through there. And then 7 was just fun because you get that little wiggle every time.
Nice. Okay. I really don't know if I have a favorite turn yet. I think got a lot of racetracks now. Got to think about this. It is not turn 12 at Atlanta.
No?
Not my favorite.
All right.
It's not Watkins Glen. I never got really comfortable there. I think it might be the S's in Pittsburgh right now, but I'm expecting to get something. Okay, so last one. Is there a tricky turn for you or a difficult turn for you or one that just doesn't feel natural? Like it does something and you haven't figured it out yet. Jennifer, you can't say all of them.
No. I don't know.
I know which one I thought you were going to say.
What?
10B at Gingerman.
That was tricky. I was going to say that, but then I thought maybe I'm not going to say that because that would just be because we just went there.
It's fine. It's not like you're married to this answer. You can have different turns.
I was trying to think of the other tracks that I went to and the ones that were tricky. I don't like. Where's the track where it gets really narrow?
New Hampshire.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't like that either.
Heading back in.
Where the area where everybody just kind of converges.
Yeah.
It's not really a turn, but it's an area that
it's kind of a
makes me
wiggle.
really uncomfortable.
And there was a bad thing that happened to you there.
Well, the bad thing happened on the straightaway, but I didn't.
You're talking the end of the straightaway, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
You mean the end of the straightaway where they come back narrow again? Is that what you mean, Jen?
Yeah. Well, you go into. Is it like an S?
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, but it gets really narrow. And then in there, and then everybody comes out on the straightaway, but and it opens up.
Gotcha.
Miss Vicki, you got a tricky.
About?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Road Atlanta, right before the bridge.
That's 11.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's just like a right angle. It's like a hard left and then a hard right.
Oh no, that's 10A, 10B.
10A and B, yeah.
That's tough on me.
Why is it tough on you? What makes it hard?
Go in super fast and you have to hit it just right, and then you kind of correct, and then you have to make the hard right, and I just really have a hard time getting it right.
Okay. Mr. Allen.
Yeah, I would say it's Pittsburgh. I don't remember the number of the turn, but it was a right-hander going uphill, probably right back
6.
toward the.
6.
Is that what it was? Yeah, it was that right-hander as you're coming uphill, and it would always.
It's kind of the like 6 and 7 at Road Atlanta, only downhill into uphill.
Yeah, Yeah, no, and it just, and I was there when it was wet, and that was right after that, cresting that hill was where I looped it, when we all looped at that race.
Yes, everybody
But
got
that
to.
was, yeah, that was one that gave me a little trouble, and it was so rewarding when I did get a good feel for it at some point, because then you could almost feel each tire gripping as I was going up and around that turn. So it was kind of fun.
Okay. For me, the turns that have caused me tricky, difficult times are Gingerman comes to mind, 5 and 6. I never really found a way through there that I liked, that my coaches were happy about. I found a way through there that I liked, but they didn't like it. And I thought it was really fast, but oh well. And then if you go to Mid-Ohio, which I know you guys haven't been there, but on the back straightaway, you go into a hard right-hander into a little series of turns. I think they call it China Beach into Madness. And that little section, I was probably pretty fast on the rest of the track, but I lost almost all my time there. So those just, I never really found a good place for it. I think the common thing between those two is there's really no quote unquote correct line, and there's really no visual markings, clear visual markings to use. So you're kind of just, you can do almost anything that you want, and there, you can really turn in just about anywhere you want. And most of the track lines were for higher horsepower cars, which don't apply to the car I'm in. So those were the ones that just don't feel right. Okay. That's it. We did it for everybody. Any questions, people? Are we good?
All good.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, very well. So popular demand, they wanted to know what this will be, what our answers would be. Those are them. That does not mean that we will not change them in the future as we progress, as we learn things more, and as we get better at driving. So hopefully we will see you guys out there on the track. And thanks, everybody, for coming to the podcast.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
All right, have fun. Bye.
Hi, Ben. I keep hearing this term that's kind of kicking around called throttle steering. I have no idea what that is. Can you explain that out to us?
It's not something I really think about that much either. I hear the term too, but I think people mean to just to say that, they're sort of like you got the car already turned, I guess, or you already got your radius set, and you're just going to kick the throttle in a certain way to make the car turn. I think it's sort of, people say drive with your feet. That's part of it. What do you think, Bill?
Well, I mean, I've heard you slow down with the steering wheel and you turn with the gas pedal is where I hear throttle.
Yeah, you could definitely influence the rotation of the car with a throttle pedal. So you may be already doing all the other stuff that you would normally be doing in a turn, but when it's, you need a little bit of extra rotation, the car will kick out as you apply the throttle. So you do throttle steer, I guess. So that's what that is. It's sort of like trail braking for me. It's not one of these things that I consciously think about while I'm driving, but I'm sure I'm doing it. But it's not like, I just throttle steered through Oak Tree. But I know that it's a thing people talk about.
How did I know we'd be at VIR before this was done? So
it's an hour away. What am I going to do?
I know.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of story time. So I was at the NASA HPD a couple weeks back, and we changed a little bit of the setup in the car. Now, the car used to have a staggered tire setup where the front was 215 and the back was 225. We changed the tires to where it was 225 front, 225 back, and the car was what I don't know that I'm right, but I would say the car was neutral. It didn't understeer or oversteer. And in this instance, that's where I started thinking, in this one turn, it's 180 degrees. It's called Keyhole at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
I felt like I was throttle steering around that turn, because if I wanted to turn tighter, I'd come off the gas a little bit. And if I wanted to turn a little looser, I'd come on to the gas. And then I really, thinking about it, I didn't consciously know, but I really think my steering wheel input was almost straight for the back half of that turn.
I think that's what I was sort of guessing at. What we're talking about is you kind of you're in a turn, you're already doing the things you think you need to be doing to turn, but you want to influence influence the way the car pulls into the turn. Like Bill said, you can come out of the throttle a little more maybe, and sometimes you'll feel the car suck right down at the apex a little bit better, or maybe it'll take a tighter radius if you just let off the throttle. But if you want to bend it out or push it a little bit wider, you can definitely stay with more throttle. So is that what you're talking about, Bill?
Just kind of, if I wanted a little more, let's call it a fade to the track out, I would just push the throttle a little more. And if I was going too far, I'd just not go on quite as early or not go on quite as aggressively. And that was, to me, essentially, I wasn't using the steering wheel, so I was steering with the throttle. So to me, that's
right.
Throttle steer. But
yeah, and when you think of it in terms like that, it sounds like something that's a great tool to have in your toolkit for traffic. Because, you may be in traffic and you're in there like, I'm trying to go in here 2 or 3 wide. I don't know if I let off a little more, not having to give up too much else, it'll put me in position to get inside this other car or something like that. So I think if you think of this in terms of a good tool to have in your toolbox and a good thing to understand, like, all right, how does the car react when I just, blast a little more throttle through here? Is it going to push me out a little bit wider? These are good things to understand, but also important to understand is that for your car, there is still an ideal approach, all by yourself, an all by yourself fast lap that shouldn't come down to whether or not your throttle steering. Because our ideal is that we use every geometrical advantage when we're all by ourselves. So we're all the way at the, all the way to the far one extreme of the track before we turn in. We turn in all the way down to the apex every time. And then we track out using every bit. And we don't drive out to the track out point. We're not like steering our way out there. We're doing it fast enough that the car is forced out there. You don't have any choice but to have your outside tires hitting the exit curve. So that's your result when you're driving right. Like when you're driving a good time trial lap all by yourself. So there is an ideal approach. But then there's also an approach where, tools like throttle steer, stuff like that may come in, due to different track condition factors or traffic. But I wouldn't say, typically there's an ideal way to do it. You should also be aware of what your ideal is too. But does that make sense?
I think so. Jen, do you ever feel the difference in your steering response with the gas pedal at different places, or have you noticed that yet?
It's a good question.
No, I'm only driven the truck, really. So no, I haven't really felt too much of a difference.
Okay.
Let's get Jen in the E36.
Well, we want
he
to,
keeps
but
trying to.
She's scared to go in. We'll get her in
The
there.
last time the steering was a bit difficult on the truck.
Yeah, well, it didn't have any, so we'll get you out of there.
That was a problem.
Well, I think coming up at this next HPE we go to, that would be something I'd like you to pay attention to, is that see how the car turns through the curve, and then as later in the session, maybe, or later in the day or later in the weekend, see how it turns with a little more gas or a little less gas, and you'll notice the difference. I think it's something. I think you're right at the cusp of the transition between all your tires just go in a nice smooth line to where you actually push the car a little bit and get a little bit of that slip angle and a little bit of that slip, and it's going to be the first time. It's going to be a little scary, but you're going to get off the track and you're going to have a big old smile.
But you don't want slip, right?
You do.
Okay.
They want us to slide around that corner with the back end squealing.
A little
But
bit.
isn't that drifting? And you said no drifting.
Let me step in here, folks.
Yeah.
What, is this your segment or something?
Things get a little
I'm
weird. I just want anybody to leave here with any misconceptions. So what we're doing when we're doing performance driving or racing is that we want to use every bit of the available grip that the car has. So if I see a driver driving and I never hear a chirp out of their tires, I know that they're probably driving comfortably, but they're not using every bit of grip that the car has. A happy car, a car that's being used completely, you're going to hear the tires chirp. If you hear, a chirping tire, I've always heard this from the old track people, a chirping tire is a happy tire. A screaming tire is not good. So, if your tires are just screaming the whole time, the whole way around the corner, you're doing something wrong, you're definitely not going to be fast. But if you hear like that kind of thing as you're going around, that means that somebody's probably using every bit of that tire just to the very edge, and the little chirp you hear is the driver stepping a little bit over the edge. But if I hear somebody talking about how fast am I going, and I go watch their video and I never hear anything out of their tires, I know that they're not going as fast as they can.
Oh, so that takes away my floating around the track scenario.
Right. You keep saying that, and I keep letting you go.
Yeah, I was just going to let you have that one, but that's not a thing.
That's not a thing. Okay. That's just me being happy going fast.
Yeah, I mean, and hey, learning how to get comfortable.
And your
with the
ass
pace is part
happy
of it.
truck.
So if you look at a graph of the coefficient of friction, you'll see that it goes up until it starts to slide just a little bit, and that's when the tires will start to make a little bit of noise.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this term called stiction, which then means
stiction,
which is different
Okay.
than friction. And since the tires are soft and squishy, and the road is not perfectly smooth, you get a mechanical interlock of the two. So you actually, once you start to slide, you get a little more grip to a point. And then for each tire, there's a point where that just falls off. And when it falls off, you start to slide. But you want to be right in that little window. And that's when the tire will start to chirp and talk. But you don't want to be a little flat spot in the tires.
Wait a minute. Now you just tell me I need to have a little bit of skid in my back end. Oh,
No. All.
Oh,
wait a minute. Skid in the back end of the truck.
Yo.
Thank you.
No.
Back end of
Man
the
over here.
truck.
How am I editing this
And
podcast?
wasn't
What are you
there
doing?
just
Are you trying to kill my edit?
wasn't there just a segment that we just had when you wanted me to drift a little bit around the corner?
And I just said it again. Just a
Okay.
little bit.
Just a little bit.
But not drift, slide. A little bit of slip.
We're not talking about like Tokyo Drift, like the movies or anything. We're just saying you do want to slip a little bit because also that does get your tires heated up and they do grab the track a little bit better if you're gripping. I didn't know that. I did not know about stiction until today. It's cool.
You know. I'm here
Also,
for you,
if we're talking about sliding and stuff like that, something to pay attention to when you're choosing your tires. I mean, obviously you guys are running the RS4s, which is kind of universally good, and a tire doesn't have any really bad properties. But a couple of years from now, you probably have to choose a new compound when that one phases out. But one thing to pay attention to, and this has always been the way for me, is there go read reviews and go listen to what people say that seem credible about a tire. If somebody says, hey, this tire and it's legal for your class has great properties, but once it lets go, it doesn't give you any warning. You're just off the track. They're really you see that type of review, and if you see it enough times, skip that tire and go to some other tire where nobody's saying that about it. Because there are genuinely some tires that, through whatever reason, they let go faster. It's just they just drop off immediately as soon as you start to slide them. Or there may be other information that's useful in reviews. So like, oh, these are good, but they get greasy after they get hot, something like that. But I think it's always worth giving a little bit of time to go read about a tire before you buy one.
So that's one thing that I think I've talked to a few people, and they say that we drive on DOT tires with most of our races and our HPDs. Right. If you go to a true racing slick, the difference between a little bit of noise and I just let go is like really, really, really narrow, and ours are kind of wide, so a little bit more.
But even within those, some are worse than others.
Right,
so,
right.
From my experience with our compound tires, which are still a DOT tire, something like that, there's still usually a few choices out there where they'll give you different results as far as the way they break away.
Right. So there's the breakaway at the limit, and then there's the degradation with time. And we tend to, on our team, like the widest window and the longest stable period. We're willing to give up the fastest top 5, 10 laps or 20 laps. It doesn't matter. We're more worried about, for our team at our level, consistency.
The only RS4 we've ever actually had to pull off the car because it was worn out because one part of it was completely flat.
A flat tire.
I'm not sure we've ever actually worn one out.
They just go. Hankook should totally sponsor us.
Yeah, no kidding. Where you at?
That's right. All right. Any other questions? We good? We're good. Thank you, sir.
we're probably going to go ahead and get rid of the Capri.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think it's beyond our skill set.
Why is that?
Because we don't have any skills.
I was going to say, I'm just asking because I also don't have any skills, so I'm just very curious about what skills I would need to try to do anything with that thing.
Well, the original layout of the Capri, the weak spot was the transmission. So when we blew the engine, we couldn't get a reasonable engine and not have to change the transmission. So what we ended up doing was we put in it's like an 03 V6 Camaro engine and transmission. But we never finished.
Gotcha. So you guys were just ripped into some big drivetrain swap and like, nah.
Well, we just don't know. And now it's like 2 years later. And
so the things are kind of a potential blank canvas for whatever somebody wants to try to jam in there next.
Well, we do have it's a blank. You can do anything you want. I'm just saying, if you want, we've got the brand new custom wiring harness for the engine.
Oh yeah.
There. Got the body, which is not great. And then
where is the thing in New Jersey?
It's in Pennsylvania.
Where y'all at?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Bill's got a car purchasing problem right now.
I have no problem purchasing cars.
Yes, and we are being overrun. And
I don't think of it as a problem.
Honestly, I think that the car build that we're going to work on is going to be a Honda, because I think it's going to be more. It's not a build from the ground up.
It's Lego.
Right.
It's more of a modification, and as some of the people that we know are basically saying, it's like a Lego, and it might be something more than welding a floor into a car and then redoing everything from the ground up. And listen, to be honest, we're not mechanics.
I'm not either. Terrible. The only thing I can do is drive. Like I stare at the Speccy 46. I'm trying to not build. Like, gotta get over there and work on that thing.
Well, since we were ditching it, and you had mentioned that you would like it, we thought of like you as the first person. So
that's awesome. Let me if I mention that to the team and it gets anybody else raging, because we're all pretty set on an S10 after I drove Blake's truck. But also that's such a cool car that if the team's got any kind of interest in it, we might jump on that. So I'll ask them what they think. But yeah, what year is it?
74.
Cool.
If you want pictures of it, it's on our website under cars. We're very creative that way.
Okay, gotcha.
And if you want more pictures, we got them too. So
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that car was crazy loose.
Yeah, to me, that's one of the things I really don't like about front-wheel drive is the inherent push. But if you get one, sprung stiff enough in the rear, whatever he's doing to get it bouncy like that, I would love it.
You would have loved it because it was a handful. I mean, Vicki hated it, but it was actually kind of fun. A mental hoop.
I need to send y'all some video where we finally got the E30 loose enough to scare me. It was the fastest it's ever been, but even I was like,
there is a limit.
But we found it.